Welcome to Season 3 of the Knack 4 Business Podcast. Over 300 episodes strong, we're here to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit with fresh insights, networking gems, and creative strategies that elevate your game. Are you ready to discover what your Knack 4 business truly is? Your hosts are Bernie Fransgrote from Creative Insight and Wayne Pratt from Motive 8U Inc.
Today's topic is feeding families, restoring dignity. So the question to the audience, what can you do right now to help families in your community who are struggling to put food on the table? And that's exactly what Cara-Leigh will be talking about today. 40 years of community action has created more than just a food bank. It's built a legacy of dignity, support, and belonging. She'll walk us through the impact of local partnerships, rising demand for food security, and how businesses, volunteers, and neighbors can make a meaningful difference. If you've ever wondered how your business or personal effort could create a real impact, tune in and be inspired. Our guest today is Cara-Leigh Wyllie from Kanata Food Cupboard. Cara-Leigh is the executive director where she's been making meaningful impact for over 8 years with a background in nutrition and dietetics and 2 decades as a registered dietitian and certified diabetes educator. She brings deep expertise and compassion to the nonprofit world. Originally from the East Coast and now rooted in Canada with her husband and 3 children, Cara-Leigh leads with heart, championing food security, supporting families, and strengthening our community through volunteerism. Whether it's minor hockey or Highland bands, she believes giving back creates lasting change. Cara-Leigh, it is an absolute pleasure to have you here. And what's your favorite quote or saying?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bernie and Wayne, for having me here today. I'm quite honored to be here. One of my favorite quotes is by Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. That's what I'm all about here at the Kanata Food Cupboard and what I truly believe in, the importance of giving back.
So it was started in 1985, the Kanata Food Cupboard. What started it and how's it changed since 1985?
Back in 1985, the Kanata Food Cupboard came to be by a group of folks involved with the Inter-Church Council here in Kanata. And so all of those folks, they realized that in the Kanata community, there were no social services available to everyone. Everybody had to go all the way downtown Ottawa to access service. So this group of individuals created a referral system, and they were all volunteers from 6 different churches in the community. So they all got together, they would answer the telephones, taking referrals, trying to help people. And one thing that they realized over the course of the first few months is that a lot of the referrals or requests were all about food. People did not have access to food. So the Kanata Food Cupboard actually morphed out of the referral system created in 1985.
Very interesting. I love what people bring to the table. And you're both a dietitian and an educator. Tell me how that flavors through in your job.
Well, my background as a registered dietitian and a diabetes educator is very unique. A couple of the things I focus on as the executive director with those skill sets is the importance of having science-based solutions, right? You look at what we bring from our backgrounds to this type of role, and it's not just about the business aspect of being a leader. It's about looking at the client and understanding their nutritional needs, emotional needs, physical challenges, and all the elements. It's really important when you look at the special dietary requests of the families we serve. Having that evidence-based knowledge is important because we know the importance of having access to healthy food. It's unique here at the Kanata Food Cupboard. It's not just myself that has a dietitian background, but also one of our staff is a registered dietitian. 2 of us keep that top in mind. Because of that, the Kanata Food Cupboard is unique in that we really promote our fresh food program. It's not just about things in a box or things in a can. It's the importance of having access to healthy choices so that our families can prosper and thrive.
You've been at this for 8 years and you're managing, and it's like any other business. It has an ebb and flow of services. It's not meant to generate money except for what you can raise to buy more resources for people in need. How do you manage? What have you learned from managing the volunteers, managing the relationships? You have a whole series of stakeholders, right? Clients, people that are helping you, people that are supporting you either through funds or sponsorships. How does that all come together? How do you manage that?
Here at the Kanata Food Cupboard, it's unique in the sense that there's only 2.5 staff. So everybody else are volunteers. The volunteers are the backbone of our organization. And we have to have a great relationship with our volunteers because they bring so many different skill sets. Volunteers don't just show up for a shift, they have something to offer. Creating meaningful roles for the volunteers is very important. Recognizing their contributions and knowing that they can contribute to that lasting impact. One other thing that's really important with leading volunteers and leading an organization like the Kanata Food Cupboard is making sure that we're all on the same page with having our mission as our key focus. So that mission-driven leadership is very important. We're all here for the same reason. We all want the same end result. That's an important thing to keep in mind.
How do you get sponsors?
We're really lucky here in Kanata in that we have a wonderful community that supports us. So we've been rooted in the Kanata community for quite a long time. We're really lucky that we have quite a broad range of private donors, corporate donors, schools, churches, other faith organizations that all support us here in our community. And with regards to your question, Wayne, how do we get them? It's just being part of the community and having our presence heard. We're also very lucky that we have a great relationship with all of our grocery stores in our community, with our community neighborhood business associations, our community associations, and we're well respected in the Kanata community. In a lot of cases, we don't have to go looking for sponsors, and they know we're here and the importance of collaborating and giving back to us.
Food insecurity is a really interesting topic, considering that we consider ourselves here in Canada, in Ontario, a first world nation. And yet it still can be a crisis. So economics obviously are the drivers. What are the things that are driving this crisis?
Well, in the Kanata community, the cost of living is a big one of the main drivers. We know how expensive it is to find a place to live, let alone to afford a place to live. The housing crisis in our community it's not great. It's so much money to pay for rent or your mortgage. So all of those factors, in addition with inflation, with all the extra folks that are moving into our community, a lot of them are new to Canada. We're having a lot of families are having to reach out in our community and with our clientele that we see. They're often what we call not just food insecure, but household insecure, meaning they only have so much money to spend. And when you have to spend so much on rent, mortgage payments, car payments, groceries, utilities, and other daily expenses that we have, we're finding that people often, the last thing they have left to spend is money on food. So it's important to keep all of those variables in mind. With regards to the demand we're seeing, it's not just us here in Canada. Food banks across the country are seeing more families and individuals struggling and needing to reach out to their local programs.
Most of our listeners are either business people or solopreneurs. How do business people and business owners get involved in a real, tangible way?
It's important to remember that with regards to organizations like the Kanata Food Cupboard and other food banks, it's not just about donating food and dollars. It's also about giving back. It's the importance of volunteering. And there's so many different opportunities and ways to get involved, whether your corporate team are able to come once a year and pack hampers, or even once every quarter, perhaps, and volunteer, whether that's cleaning, packing hampers, driving, picking up donations. There's so many different ways that folks can give back. And with regards to hosting a food drive, all of those things are wonderful as well. But sometimes businesses can get creative and come up with their own ideas to maybe do a bake sale, or why not on a Friday, everybody dresses down and donates money to dress down to donate. So there's lots of ways that businesses can get involved and give back. And it's important also to be part of the bigger, broader community. Being able to give back is very rewarding.
In the business side of the fence, do you co-brand then? Do they say we are in support of to help generate awareness? In other words, let's say I sell automobiles or I sell fencing. There's no direct correlation, right? If I run a supermarket, that would make more sense. Do you do co-branding to help facilitate so that your brand recognition gets out there more?
Yes, we certainly do. With a lot of different partners, we do lots of different marketing and making sure that they're recognized and we're recognized, even if it's as simple as coming in volunteering for a few hours. We always give recognition and try to elaborate those partnerships. Yeah.
I always like to ask at least one off the wall question, and here it is. You're in Canada. You're
Yes.
actually doing a podcast that goes all over North America and the world. Do you federate with other food banks in Ottawa and Brockville and Kingston to provide some level of spitballing or back and forthing?
So, Wayne, the way it works here with us is we're independent, meaning that we're not part of the Ottawa Food Bank organization. The Ottawa Food Bank helps all of the food banks and food pantries that are located in central Ottawa, as well as mostly going to the east end. Whereas most of the programs like us on the west side of Ottawa are very independent. So we're our own entities. However, we all still collaborate. We're all members of Feed Ontario, our governing umbrella, or under Food Banks Canada. So we have that networking ability. And we reach out to not just our neighbors within our own province, but food banks across the country, sharing ideas, sharing success stories, sharing things that can help each other thrive and get the most out of the work that we do. We're very fortunate in that sense that we've got a great community, not just locally, but also nationally as well.
Being a charity, that means you give charitable receipts. Do you find that has an advantage? Because in a regular business, I'll give you a receipt, but it's just proof of payment. When you're giving a receipt, it has a tax implication where they can receive a benefit or a lessening of the taxes they paid. Do you find that has a good effect on generating cash flow coming in?
Yes. So the Kanata Food Cupboard for almost probably 32 years has been a registered charity through CRA. So we've been giving tax receipts for many years.
There's a barbecue coming up. Tell us about it and who should come.
Our barbecue is really exciting for us because it's our celebration for our 40th anniversary. This is a community barbecue, so it's open to everybody in our community. We are inviting not just our local neighbors and our friends, but we're inviting past board members, former volunteers, neighbors, clients, families that utilize our services. We're inviting all of the dignitaries that support us and help us with all the work that we do. We're inviting our entire community. And it's a chance for everybody to celebrate the importance of the Kanata Food Cupboard's history and what we do for our community. We've got some great displays set up. We're going to have a chance to look at all the memorabilia. We've got a great big timeline created of what's happened over the last 40 years. And one thing that I'm really excited about is we're creating a really big map of our community with all of the different pins of all of the different locations that we've been. Because over the past 40 years, the Kanata Food Cupboard has had 21 different locations. That's absurd to some people to think about. So it's going to be nice to show all of the different locations that we've been in throughout the Kanata community. So we're hoping everyone comes out and helps us celebrate this important event.
What else you got on the go that's in Canada that might tickle someone's fancy?
We have another event taking place. It's Comedy in Canada, happening on the 26th of June, the Thursday evening. We're partnering with a group called Comedy in Canada. They've been doing charity fundraisers for a few years, and this year they reached out and wanted us to be one of the charities they partner with. They've got a wonderful crew of local comedians on tap: Reggie Cash, Sarah Boston, Jen LaBelle, and the headliner is Rob Pugh. We've watched Comedy Central. You've probably seen some of these folks. It's a great night planned. And tickets are only $35. It's taking place locally here in Canada at the Ron Muslin Theatre. Tickets are available through the theater's website as well as the Kanata Food Cupboard website. And we're really hoping for a fun night. But one thing that a lot of people like about these fundraisers is they happen in our own community. It's nice to have a night out and not drive 30 minutes and go downtown and find a place to park. So it's nice to just go next door in your own community and support a local charity. So we're hoping for a great turnout.
You have something really innovative that I'd like to hear more about. Seeds and soil.
Thanks for asking about this, Wayne. This is a program that we're really proud of. We've been doing this now for a few years, and it's a program where we give soil and seeds to the families that we serve and teach them how to grow their own little gardens. We had to be unique with how we were going to distribute soil to people. So, what we actually use is we use those really large bags that you can purchase at IKEA. Everybody gets 2 bagfuls of soil. This is great because not everybody has a backyard or a garden that they can plant in. If people live in apartments or have a front step or a balcony, they can use those and put the bags of soil. And it's a great way for people to start growing their own produce. A lot of the families are anxious because they come year after year and they're looking forward to this taking place. Probably the end of the month or early June is usually when it happens.
Well, we talked about having dignity and choice for people. How do you balance that? Because someone coming to seek food, if this is their first time, you're not going to be shy about it. But some people might have a strong sense of pride. And how's that balance out? How are you able to serve them and they can maintain their dignity and thrive? How do you manage that relationship?
Well, that relationship's really important to us. And that's one of our key values is dignity, compassion, and being respectful. It's really important to us as staff, but also to our volunteers. And especially for families that are coming for the first time, having to utilize our services. We're really proud of the fact that we have our service set up like a grocery store. Families get to come in and choose what they want. They go through the shelves and shop, just as if you're in the grocery store. You get to pick what type of cereal your family uses, what type of vegetable your family would like to take. So it's not just putting groceries in a box and passing to someone and say, hey, here you go, this is what you get. That's not at all what it's about. It's about the dignity of choice and treating the families with the respect. We have to meet our families with where they're at. For a lot of families, it's tough to reach out and need to use a food bank or a food pantry or a food cupboard. So it's really important to have that dignity of choice and to have that friendly, welcoming, compassionate environment that we offer here at the Kanata Food Cupboard.
One thing I know is that there is a wiring in our bodies to want protein and starch. And as a dietitian, you know that's not enough. How do you help people make better choices so that they're getting beyond protein and starch?
It's a great question, Wayne, and it's back to that offering a wide variety of foods. We have all of the standard staples of our fresh food program, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. We also partner with many farms and offer additional produce, especially during the summer months. We partner with a lot of our grocery stores through the rescue programs that exist. So what those programs mean is we get things the grocery stores can't sell, but are still perfectly able to eat. For example, the grocery store can't sell that bag of grapes because a few might be spoiled, but those grapes are still perfectly fine. So we have all of those rescue foods as well. So it just creates a lot more choice with healthy fruits, vegetables, produce, milk, cheese, yogurt, all of the high quality dairy as well. One thing that we're really proud of here at the Kanata Food Cupboard with the choice is families get to pick what they actually want. And one thing that's important is also making sure that we have choices for families that don't eat traditional Canadian foods. We have a lot of different ethnic food available, halal choices available, just to make sure that we have choices that meets everybody's dietary requirements. So we have a wide variety to make sure that we can offer the choices that people want and need.
Because of you trying to look at the whole person, you do things other than food. Tell us about the rest of the package.
For sure. So with regards to our program here at the Kanata Food Cupboard, we really pride ourselves in the importance of community resiliency. It's not just about food. It's about the bigger piece. Some people use the term poverty reduction. We don't like to use the word poverty so much because it's more than just poverty, but it's about having those other supports that help people. So we have programs where we provide free clothing or housewares. We also have a program for kids that are going back to school. We provide them with backpacks and all the essentials that they need to be successful in September. We also have programs where we provide winter wear. It's very cold here in Ottawa over the winter months. So we have hats, mitts, scarves, and toques, and all those sorts of things. We also provide toiletries, hygiene products, toilet paper, cleaning supplies. So there's so many other things that we offer than just being a food program. It's the full package. We have a lot of different things for a lot of families. One population that we're really proud of, the way that we serve, and our client and community outreach coordinator does a fabulous job, is with our unhoused population. So we have a lot of families that come to us that not only do they not have enough food sometimes, but they need other essentials. So we provide tents, propane cylinders, candles, warm socks, bedding, and all those extra things that those families need to thrive.
That's really interesting. I was helping someone at a food bank, and they have a large unhoused population. And they said, why would you give somebody a can that they can't open?
We provide those too. And when we get any of those unique ones like the pop lid, we put those aside to make sure that we have those for some of our unhoused population for sure.
You mentioned the organization's been there 40 years, and a lot of us, our brains don't update once we have a picture of what something is. What are the myths of food banking?
So a lot of the myths of food banking, there are many. A lot of people think that with food banking, it's cleaning out the cupboard and bringing all those donations and they'll give it all. No, we still look at best before dates, expiration dates, but a lot of people get those dates very confused. What's an expiration? What's a best before? Expiration dates are on all of the nutritional supplements, the baby formula, the baby foods, and then all of our perishable items. Best before dates are very different. And we're able to give out food that's even past the best before date.
Fantastic.
We follow the guidelines set by Food Banks Canada. In a lot of cases, we can go back 12 months. So, for example, that can of green peas might be dated December 2024. It's still a healthy choice. We do look at all of the best before dates and follow that 1 year guideline. Some things are 6 months, but on average, it's about a 1 month period. We get a lot of food drives where people just clean out the pantries. We still have to go through it all and determine if it's a good choice. One other myth, I think, Wayne, that's really important with how food banks work is people make assumptions about the clients that come to food banks. It's very surprising. People that use our program, our neighbors, it's people that aren't below a poverty line. It's not about poverty. It's about hardships and resiliency. Sometimes families are just having a very difficult month. We don't do any means testing, so we don't do any financial guidelines of how much you have to make or not make to use our program here. And so if you're having a difficult month, come, we're here to help. A lot of our families are working families, are people sometimes one income, but in a lot of cases, 2 incomes. They're just finding it really difficult to get ahead. So that's another myth that exists, that people that use food banks are people below a certain poverty line, and that is not at all the case.
When you're offering services, like we talk about, these are straightforward. I need toiletries, I need food, I need sustenance. If there's a problem upstream that's made that the stress happen, it could be sickness in the family. Like someone has just gotten sick, the breadwinner's taken out of commission and there's no coverage, etc. Do you find, or do you partner with other agencies or have resources within the Kanata Food Cupboard that help people, whether it's mental health, whether it's finding a job, finding a place to locate at that might be more suitable or fit budget? Any of those elements?
Yes, we certainly do, Bernie. We work very closely with the Western Ottawa Community Resource Centre. They are a wealth of knowledge. One thing about the Kanata Food Cupboard is we're a lot of times a referral hub. So we get families that have questions about how to do their income tax, or they're applying for a job, or all these other services, mental health services. So then we know where to refer them to. So we do a lot of referring to our Community Resource Center, the Economic Center, so many different organizations we partner with, and then we referral on. Our community and client outreach coordinator, I believe she has about 41 different agencies that she partners with. We really believe in the importance of why reinvent the wheel. For example, we have a clothing program here for our families, but if someone donates specific clothing, let's say for somebody returning to the work field. Then we give those donations to a program like Dress for Success and refer our client to that program. So it's all about knowing where to network, where to make those referrals so that everybody gets the most success out of the programs.
What moments have filled you the most? What's been the most heartfelt uplift for you in your 8 years?
There's been many, but I'm proud of a lot of the work that we do. We've worked so hard and we've expanded so much. But I think 2024 is the year that I am the most proud of. We had a huge undertaking with a move. We went from moving from our bigger warehouse, we had 8,400 square feet, and we moved to a smaller building of 4,400 square feet. So some people might think of that as downsizing. Physically downsizing, yes, all while we're serving 21% more people. So wrap your head around those numbers. You're moving to a smaller space, you're serving more families. So we had a lot of adjustments to do over the last year. And I've moved many times, but I've never moved a business. So knowing how to set up our new store area, our new warehouse, what shelves to purchase, what's the best layout. So it was a year of growth for all of us, but especially for me. And I'm very proud of the fact that we did that huge move and we still maintained the same level of service. We only had to close for one day. It was a seamless transition for the families that we served. It was a huge undertaking and we had a great team behind us, but it's definitely one of the proudest moments that I've had being here the last 8 years was how we handled 2024. We did a great job in 2024.
What is the most over-donated and least appreciated food that you run into? What's been given away for a reason that no one wants?
Baked beans.
That's a good guess. It goes in ebbs and flows, and it certainly has over the last 8 years that I've been involved. But I would say the one food that we get donated the most, although we appreciate it, it's tuna. We have never had to purchase a can of tuna in the last 8 years. And I think I can confidently say that we can probably go another 2 more years with enough tuna that we currently have. It's such a high quality protein. It's a great choice to donate, but we do get a lot of it. So tuna would be my answer. Cans of tuna.
Yeah, but people want those. I was thinking about the ones that stay on your shelves.
There's not too much that we can't give away. We're really lucky here. And back to those community connections. If there's something that sits for a while or are not big takers here in Kanata, we partner with one of our other food banks and pass it off to them. Their population and the families they serve might be able to utilize a little better than we can.
That's brilliant.
One thing I realized, you're serving the population at large that are in distress or stressed, is that you're running a logistics operation. And when I actually, reflecting on this, because it's almost, okay, step one is this, step two is this. What is the life cycle from, hi, here is a can, here is a fresh vegetable? What is the process so people understand what is behind the scenes? Because at the end of the day, you either see the ask or you see the give, but you don't see the in between. What's behind that? Because that's where you need your volunteers for, right? So what's the life cycle of receiving product?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's going to be a long answer. So please bear with me. We do so much behind the scenes. We often joke that it would be great to put a little hidden camera on the donation when it goes in the bin at the grocery store and see how it evolves. Then it gets sorted, put into inventory. Then it leaves inventory and it goes into the shelves for the families to choose and to take home. So there's quite a life cycle behind the scenes. We've got so many volunteers that help with picking up the donations. Grocery store donations, whether it's a food drive at a school, a business, a church, or a faith organization, need to be picked up. We do that 3 days a week. When those donations get picked up, they then come to our warehouse. We put all those donations into great big whale bins. They have about 1,000 pounds capacity. Then we sort those donations. During slower weeks, we might sort 2 or 3 times a week. During a higher volume week or season, we sort 4 or 5 times a week. So then everything then gets organized, likes with likes, packaged into our warehouse. So then we have volunteers that come 5 days a week, taking things from the warehouse and stocking the shelves. It's a continual cycle of volunteers in and out doing all the heavy lifting, the sorting, the organizing. And so then we have our shopping program. Another set of volunteers help our families shop for the foods they want. We have shopping 3 afternoons a week, 3 evenings a week. And the other 2 evenings, we do hamper programs. The hampers are delivered on Tuesdays, and on Fridays, we do a curbside pickup hamper program. All of those, from start to finish, need a lot of volunteers. And with regards to how long the shelf life is for some of the foods, all of our fresh food, we have fresh food deliveries 3 times a week. So nothing stays that long. So it might come into our facility on a Monday, and by Wednesday, it's being replenished again. It's a big turnover of all our fresh fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. Even a lot of our meats, we do freeze out. All of our meat come frozen. So some of our meats that are frozen might last a little longer. But again, it's a high turnover of all these products. It's a big organization, and it's successful because of the volunteers and all of the important mission that they believe in, and all of us achieving that same goal.
If you end up getting a product and it's past its shelf life, let's say it's fresh produce, because watching my spouse cook sometimes, something has gone like bananas is a good example. It becomes banana bread. Do you have a process where something is still viable but not in its original state, and do you then transform it? Or do you have someone that you partner with that will take that and make it something better?
Yes, we certainly do, Bernie. I think I already mentioned in a previous question how we get a lot of those donations. We're involved with rescue programs from grocery stores, from restaurants. So rescue programs, Second Harvest, Food Banks Canada, One More Bite. So all of those rescues we pick up. It's not just at the grocery stores, but even a lot of restaurants. So if there's things that they can't sell, we pick those up and then we can offer them to our families. In most cases, we turn them over really quickly. However, sometimes there are things that do spoil or might not be, we can't really give them out. So if that's the case, what we do with those is we offer them as a freebie choice, or we partner with local farmers who will take those donations for their hog farms or chickens. We very seldom throw things in the garbage. We've got a lot of programs that we partner with. So not a lot of waste goes through the Kanata Food Cupboard. If we can't use it, we usually know someone that does. And our farmers, we partner with them weekly, so they take anything that we can't use.
You get government supports.
Wayne, we don't. We're completely independent. We have been successful, though, the past few years with the Canada Summer Jobs programs. So we do get support for hiring a summer student every year. Otherwise, we're completely independent of donations from any level of government.
So if someone is starting up their business or just established a store, the economic engine's starting to run, and they realize they have to get into the community, other than sponsoring a kid's soccer team or something like that, how do they make that connection back to you? What should they do? What's the next step if they're curious about that?
We always encourage them to reach out. And if they can't reach out to us directly, reach out to their business association, who then will reach out to us. Sometimes our business associations make great connections, and it's a great segue to get introduced to helping the food bank. A lot of people think businesses have to have these big food drives. No, that's not the case at all. You can help with so many other things. Businesses can help us with volunteering, and we love to have volunteers. We have, on average, at least one corporate team in here every week, whether it's packing hampers, sorting donations, stocking the shelves. Making that connection is important because it's great to be a part of that bigger community and have our corporate teams reach out. Please reach out anytime. We welcome all of our neighbors and friends to come help us in the work that we do.
What do you see coming in the next 3 to 5 years in your industry?
In our industry, Wayne, I think we're going to see continued growth. Year over year for the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen a 20% increase. We're anticipating unprecedented numbers here at the Kanata Food Cupboard. It's about being able to serve the families without losing the quality of our service. One thing we have to be realistic about is capacity, right? Physical capacity, volunteer capacity, staff capacity, and dollars and cents capacity. How much can we spend? We're really trying to do that long-term forecasting and thinking about what's next and some of the changes that we might have to implement if we continue to see so many families reaching out.
How do we get a hold of you? If this rings a bell and they want to do more, what's the best ways to get a hold of you, Cara-Leigh?
So we have a wonderful website. It's kanatafoodcupboard.ca. And we're also very active with our social media. We're on all of the social media platforms. And we're also old school that we love come by, drop by, show up at our door, give us a phone call. If people listening outside of our neighborhoods think, oh man, I maybe should connect with my local food bank. Yes, please reach out to the national organizations. You can find any food bank listed through Food Banks Canada or through Feed Ontario. Go to those directories and it'll link you with your local neighborhood food bank. And they'll be happy to hear from you.
You have a couple other events that are coming up this year involving golf. What two events are on the horizon?
We've got 2 local golf tournaments this year, Bernie. We've got one taking place very soon on Tuesday, May the 20th. That one is a charity event that's run by the Knights of Columbus. So the Knights of Columbus are partnering with us, the Kanata Food Cupboard. They're also partnering with the Uville organization, which gives back to moms and families and youth. And they're also partnering with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. So that's a big charity tournament at the beginning of spring. For those golfers that like to do something towards the end of summer, there's another great event in September. We're partnering with the Phoenix Business Exchange for their charity tournament. That one's going to be exciting. It's going to be taking place at the Canadian, so just on the outskirts of Kanata. And it's going to be a wonderful 9-hole day with lots of fun planned. Please reach out to the Kanata Food Cupboard's website. There'll be links for both of those events.
Cara-Leigh Wyllie, I want to say thank you so much. My co-host Wayne Pratt, always thank you. And you, the Knack for Business listeners, we appreciate your time in listening to this. If you want to know more about the Kanata Food Cupboard, reach out to Cara-Leigh. If you want to know more about food bank and what it means to help sustain the community, reach out to Cara-Leigh. If you are in the Ottawa area and want to help, reach out to Cara-Leigh. There's an opportunity to help someone that might not be doing as well as you are.
To reach the podcast hosts, email them at info@creativeinsight.com or by the website creativeinsight.com, spelled KREATIVINSIGHT.com. To reach Wayne at his email Wayne@motivate.uca, that is MOTIVE, the numeral 8 and the letter U.ca, or his website Motivate.uca. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast and share your knowledge, let us know. We would also appreciate your feedback on the content or format. Check the show notes for more details. For these podcasts, we like to acknowledge the support and thanks to the following people: Carl Richards from Podcast Solutions Made Simple, a renowned podcast expert; Fred Crouch, who is the Property Wizard podcaster, where Bernie is a co-host; Jovan Strika from At Hive, a co-working space that is more than just a space; then Melanie Weber, Bernie's invaluable business partner; and Wayne Pratt from Motivate You Inc., who serves as both a coach and co-host of these podcasts. Disclaimer: please note that the Knack for Business podcast episodes are meant solely for educational and general informational purposes. The information and opinions contained within are not intended to be professional advice on any subject matter. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the participants are their own personal beliefs and do not represent the views of the podcast hosts or any affiliated organizations. It is important to note that this podcast is not a replacement for consulting with certified experts in your area who possess knowledge of your unique situation. The hosts of the podcast, along with any participants or affiliated groups, do not take responsibility for any actions taken or not taken based on the information presented in this episode. It is highly recommended that individuals seek guidance from their own personal advisors in fields such as accounting, law, or other pertinent areas prior to undertaking any actions or making decisions that may impact their financial, legal, or other aspects of life.